very warm welcome to the 22nd edition of the Commonwealth Games 2022. Dosto, we are live in action, bringing to you all the fun, of course, live from Birmingham, England. And आपको बता दें कि इस साल के Commonwealth Games के अंदर a total of 6,500 sports persons are going to be taking part from 72 nations. And अगर भारतीय कंटिंजेंट की बात करें तो उनका ये 18th अपीयरेंस होने वाला है कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स के अंदर, जिसमें से 215 का कंटिंजेंट इस बार गया है कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स में, रिप्रेजेंटिंग 16 different sporting events. And yesterday was the big inaugural ceremony of the Commonwealth Games that we all witnessed live at India time. अगर बात करें तो रात को 11 बजे से, ऑफ कोर्स, जिसमें हमने देखा कि 2-time ओलंपिक चैंपियन पीवी सिंधु और उनके साथ साथ मनप्रीत सिंह, जो कि भारतीय हॉकी टीम की कप्तान है, they were the flag bearers. Manpreet Singh walking hand in hand next to PV Sindhu, a moment of pride for all the Indian athletes out there. And why do I say that? Because some of the few noticeable changes that are going to be happening this year in the Commonwealth Games is the fact that the women events are much more than the men sporting events. 136 sporting events हैं women की, और men की अगर हम बात करें तो 134. Well, on that note, हम बहुत सारी बातचीत आज इस शो के अंदर लेकर आए हैं. मेरे साथ यहाँ जुड़ रहे हैं Indian sports commentator and along with that expert and a very dear friend and a very senior person who's been a part of the DD Sports fraternity for a very long time. I'm talking about Anupam Gulati. Good afternoon, Anupam ji.
Good afternoon, Namaskar. How are you today?
I'm good, Anupam ji. Thank you so much
Wonderful.
for asking. Welcome back in the studio once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And इस पूरी बातचीत की शुरुआत दोस्तों हम इस बात से करेंगे कि आज 3 मेजर इवेंट्स रहेंगे फोकस में. The first of course being cricket. Cricket has made a comeback into Commonwealth Games after 1998 for the first time. और आज हम देखेंगे कि महिला क्रिकेट T20 का पहला मैच भारत up against Australia होने वाला है. सिर्फ यही नहीं, boxing is another important event, but I'll start the conversation directly with Anupam ji through cricket. I think it's a very good news, Anupam ji, कि Indian women are making a comeback in cricket. T20 makes an entry into cricket after 1998. A big one today lined up for us.
Yes, absolutely right. 1998, Kuala Lumpur, during that edition of the Commonwealth Games, but that was men's cricket, and it was a 50 over affair there. And well, India had played there. If I just might recall a bit now for the viewers, etc. At that time, what had happened, it was a split Indian team which went. There were 2 tournaments going on, one in Toronto in Canada, India-Pakistan Friendship Series. The captain was Azharuddin. And here in Kuala Lumpur, it was Ajay Jadeja. Sachin Tendulkar was here in Kuala Lumpur for the Commonwealth. He didn't go to Toronto. And Anil Kumble was there, Harbhajan was there. So they were all here. And a few of the other players, Saurav Ganguly and Lakshman, they were all in Toronto. Right. But what happened was that India lost in the Commonwealth Games. They lost to Australia in the first one. Even in Toronto they lost. So वो split ऐसा हो गया कि ना इधर के ना उधर के. Anyway, so that is history. I remember I was there at that time. But nevertheless, now you're talking about the women's cricket, and it's T20, and Australia are the world's number 1 team. India has got the ICC ranking of number 4 as far as the ladies are concerned. And what better pitch or a ground to play than Edgbaston?
Of course,
right?
Yes,
so there's been so much of cricket there. It's the home, the county of Warwickshire and the Midlands, and it's the heart. Birmingham, is called the heart of England. It's right there in the middle. So I'm sure that's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a cracker of a match. India versus Australia. You can't ask for more. And if I just throw back a little bit, we've had the Women's World Cup in New Zealand just a short while ago. India and Australia played in that. Australia won by 6 wickets. But look at the scores. India, 277 for 7, right, in 50. Australia, 280 for 4. So close, anything could happen. India has beaten Australia in the past, even though Australia has a win record of 16 against India.
Well, it's early days to start of the tournament. अगर हम बात करें, of course, आज का पहला मुकाबला है, लेकिन जो बड़ी खबर है वो यही है कि क्रिकेट ने एक बार फिर से कम बैक किया है. We'll have to wait and watch that's how the Indian women fare in that game. But another sport अगर हम बात करें जिसमें भारतीय खिलाड़ियों से काफ़ी उम्मीद रखी जा सकती है, वो है बॉक्सिंग. बॉक्सिंग में अब की बार ऑफ कोर्स हम अगर बात करें यहाँ पर तो हम देख सकते हैं कि बॉक्सिंग में एक इंपॉर्टेंट नेम जो उठेगा वो ये है निखत जरीन का, बिकॉज मैरी कॉम इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट दिस ईयर ऑफ कोर्स, लेकिन निखत जरीन एक ऐसा नाम है जो अब एक हाउस होल्ड नेम बन चुकी हैं. I'll bring Anupam ji into the discussion. 26-year-old young girl जिन्होंने इतना अच्छा प्रदर्शन अभी तक किया है इन द 52 किलोग्राम कैटेगरी, और इस बार कॉमनवेल्थ में शी इज गोइंग टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ द 50 किलोग्राम कैटेगरी जहां पर वो रिप्रेजेंट करेंगी. उनसे उम्मीदें अनुपम जी बहुत ज़्यादा रखी जा रही हैं.
No doubt about that. Nikhat is the world champion.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And she's had to wait a little for the simple reason because her weight category and Mary Com's is the same.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now she couldn't make the entry.
Correct.
Right? So therefore, otherwise, if Mary Com had left boxing a little earlier, maybe Nikhat would have been donning the national colours much earlier.
Yes.
And anyway, so it's a great thing because Mary Com has been a multiple world champion.
6-time world champion.
So after that, now in the same weight category, either it's 49 or now 50 or till 52, Nikhat Zareen is the hope, even though, as you mentioned, she's in her mid-20s now. But the girl from Telangana has done exceedingly well under all the circumstances. I think I'm expecting her to be amongst the podium, but of course it will all depend on what the draw is going to be, Sakshi. That is a very, very tricky situation at times. But on form and with the confidence level that she's got, I will be not surprised that she'll go all the way.
Wow, that was a big word coming up on the first day when the events get started off कि निखत ज़रीन एक ऐसी खिलाड़ी हो सकती हैं जो बहुत लंबी रेस का घोड़ा इस टूर्नामेंट में बन सकती हैं. Well, we'll have to see how that pans out as the tournament goes ahead. But let's also have a quick look at what events are going to be lined up for us आज के दिन में. अगर हम उसकी बात करेंगे तो हम वो तो आपको बताएंगे ही. एक और स्पोर्ट जिसकी मैं अभी बात करने वाली हूँ वो रहेगा यहाँ पर सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट, विच इज़ बॉक्सिंग. द बिग नेम कमिंग अप आज के दिन की शुरुआत बॉक्सिंग में जो करेंगे वो है शिव थापा इन द 63.5 किलोग्राम कैटेगरी. अनुपम जी, एक ऐसा नाम जिनसे आज हम उम्मीदें जरूर रख सकते हैं.
Definitely, Shiva Thapa is a very experienced, talented pugilist. He has lots and lots of laurels behind him. And he should start off as the favorite against his Pakistani opponent Baloch. But not too much is known about Baloch in this weight category. So, as they always say, never underestimate your opponent. So that is it. Pakistan has had a fairly rich history as far as men's boxing is concerned. They had a great fillip when Anwar Chaudhary was the president of the world body, and he had brought up a lot of changes in the Pakistan boxing. I don't know now, of course, what the situation there is, but at one time it was in the subcontinent, it was India and Pakistan, the pugilists or the boxers were very close to each other, and it was what you call, you know,
neck to neck.
Neck to neck, और जिसको कहते हैं ना कि कांटे की टक्कर होती थी उन दोनों की. आज का क्या बाउट में होता है, I cannot say, but I would imagine the favorite should be Thapa.
ओके, अगर आज का बाउट की हम बात करते हैं तो सिर्फ शिव थापा ही का रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं होने वाला है, बिकॉज अगर हम देखें आज डे 1 बॉक्सिंग के राउंड ऑफ 32 की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो मेंस 64 kg कैटेगरी में तो शिव थापा हैं, लेकिन मेंस 75 किलोग्राम कैटेगरी में सुमित कुंडू रहेंगे, मेंस 67 kg कैटेगरी में रोहित टोकस रहेंगे और मेंस 80 किलोग्राम कैटेगरी में आशीष चौधरी रहेंगे. यानी आज हम देखेंगे 4 अलग अलग कैटेगरीज में 4 अलग अलग बॉक्सर्स को रिप्रेजेंट करते हुए, इंडियन रिप्रेजेंटेशन देते हुए इन द राउंड ऑफ 32. अभी हमने शिव थापा की बात करी, लेकिन अनुपम जी और भी हमने बॉक्सर्स के यहाँ पर नाम लिए, सुमित कुंदू, रोहित टोकस, आशीष चौधरी, अलग अलग बाउट्सिंग के भी अलग अलग केजी कैटेगरी वेट कैटेगरीज है इसमें राउंड ऑफ 32 के अंदर. उम्मीदें बाकी बॉक्सर्स से क्या रखी जा सकती है?
You have to be, you know, boxing is something which is very, very traditional in the Commonwealth Games. It has been there from the very beginning.
Correct.
And now when you look at Great Britain, which when they come to the Olympics, they come as Great Britain, as you know.
Correct.
When they play the Commonwealth Games, they come divided into 4 different flags, right? I won't say countries, but 4 flags, right? And those flags, of course, being England, you have Wales, you have Scotland, and you got Northern Ireland. These are the 4 who make up Great Britain and who make up the United Kingdom, as they are called. So the boxing is a very, very traditional sport there, right? Now it has spread apart from the rest of the world. Well, Africa is very strong. Don't discount the Nigerians or the Ghana or the South African boxers. On the other hand, Don't forget that Canada has a strong contingent as well.
Yes, very strong one.
And also the Australians, maybe not to that extent, but definitely there in the running as well. A few boxers will be there from the Caribbeans, from Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, from Grenada, from a few of Guyana. You will have a few of them coming in from there who could upset the apple cart. So as I said earlier, it will depend entirely on the draw. But one of the top boxing nations is going to be one of these four from the United Kingdom.
Yes, we'll have to
England,
wait
Wales,
and watch.
Scotland and Northern Ireland.
Okay, so we are talking of the four top nations that could possibly be boxing की अगर हम बात करें, but Indian representation को हम भूल नहीं सकते कि वो भी एक बहुत अहम किरदार निभा सकते हैं. Let's move on to the other sport of the day that shall be the highlight. I'm talking about swimming because there are a lot of events lined up in swimming. वेल स्विमिंग की अगर हम बात करें तो 400 मीटर फ्री स्टाइल के अंदर आज हैं कुशाग्र रावत जो रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे इंडिया को. 100 मीटर बैक स्ट्रोक में आशीष कुमार सिंह रहेंगे. 50 मीटर बटरफ्लाई में साजन प्रकाश रहेंगे और 100 मीटर बैक स्ट्रोक में श्री हरि नटराज रहेंगे. कुछ नाम इनमें से बहुत जाने पहचाने क्योंकि हैं ऑफ कोर्स बिकॉज काफ़ी कुछ वो स्विमिंग में अगर हम बात करें खास तौर से अगर एक मल्टी स्पोर्ट एक्स्ट्रावेगेंजा की बात करते हैं अनुपम जी तो ये बहुत कुछ अचीव कर चुके हैं. आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ अ कपल ऑफ नेम्स स्पेसिफिकली विच इज साजन प्रकाश और श्री हरि नटराज. लेकिन अनुपम जी क्या हम अपने स्विमर्स से उम्मीदें जोड़ सकते हैं कि आपको लगता है इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ टफ कॉल?
Swimming, Sakshi at the Commonwealth Games is of the highest level.
Yes.
When you look at the Australians, you look at the British swimmers from England, right? You look at the Canadians, they are world class.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
They hold, they've been multiple Olympic champions, they're holding world records as well. But I cannot say whether any of the Indian swimmers will end up in the medals. To be very honest, I'm a little skeptical. Even though you mentioned Sajan Prakash, he holds multiple records. He's been in the Commonwealth Games, he's been at the Olympic Games. And, you know, it is all a matter of getting good exposure. And amongst the medals, I don't think they would stick much of a chance there. But because the competition is world class, really. I mean, if you look at it, really, other than the US, who are not here as part of the Commonwealth, but otherwise, when you look at the Australians, again, I repeat, New Zealand's to a much lesser extent, but the Canadians, the British, and the Australians will run roost. Also, don't forget that Singapore also has, will show you glimpses of brilliance in the swimming pool.
Yes, well, swimmers से उम्मीदें कितनी रखी जाएंगी ये तो नहीं पता, लेकिन समय बताएगा जरूर. श्री हरि नटराज की भी हम बात कर सकते हैं. But the other sport that I'm now going to move on would of course be badminton. बैडमिंटन की सबसे बड़ी खबर यही रही है कि थॉमस कप को हमारे मेंस बैडमिंटन टीम ने वर्ल्ड टीम चैंपियनशिप में पहली बार जीता मई में, and that made headlines everywhere, obviously for all the right reasons, and hence our shuttlers are going to be right now definitely going to be on a high. Let's have a look कि आज बैडमिंटन के अंदर कौन से इवेंट्स लाइन अप हो रहे हैं. जब हम बैडी की बात करते हैं तो डे 1 पे हम देखेंगे मिक्स डबल्स का आज इवेंट होगा. इंडिया अप अगेंस्ट पाकिस्तान, जहां पे इंडियन रिप्रेजेंटेशन करेंगे अश्विनी पुनप्पा और उनके साथ ही हम देख वुमेन्स में ऑफ कोर्स बैडमिंटन मिक्स डबल्स में, और दूसरी तरफ होंगे बी सुमित रेड्डी इन द मेंस बैडमिंटन मिक्स्ड डबल्स. दो ऐसे नाम अनुपम जी, अश्विनी पुनप्पा और सुमित रेड्डी, जिनकी हम बात करते हैं, उम्मीदें इनसे बहुत रखी जाती है. एक और नाम जिनका मैं यहाँ लेना चाहूँगी जो भी यहाँ पे है नहीं क्योंकि आज वो खेलेंगे नहीं, वो हैं 20 साल के लक्ष्य सेन की भी अगर हम बात करते हैं सो उनसे भी काफ़ी उम्मीदें रखी जा सकती है. तो अनुपम जी मैं आपके पास आऊँगी और ये पूछूंगी कि जो आज का मुकाबला है आप अगेंस्ट पाकिस्तान जिस पे हम देखेंगे कि सुमित रेड्डी होने वाले हैं एंड अश्विनी पुनप्पा, ये दोनों मिक्स डबल्स की हम बात कर रहे हैं. Do you see a lot of hopes for a good start for our shuttlers from day one today?
Certainly. I think it's going to be a one-sided affair.
Yes.
Pakistan will be no match to the competition that Ashwini Punappa and Reddy will put up. And they are a strong, hot combination as far as the mixed doubles are concerned.
Yes.
So I don't think very much of Pakistan. They will... at best, I'll be surprised if they can even take a game away from them.
Okay, there's another name that I want to discuss आपके साथ, which would be कि लक्ष्य सेन का. The 20-year-old, he's a rising star who is also the men's world number 10 right now, but he has been laid low because of injury. हो सकता है लक्ष्य सेन becomes a part. अगर लक्ष्य सेन is there, how much of, should I say, expectations would you write on this youngster when it comes to representing India on such a big multi-sport extravaganza at such a big level?
Well, I as all the badminton buffs
Ji.
and aficionados are concerned who follow the sport, will have only words of praise
Yes.
for the 20-year-old Almora boy.
Yes, yes.
And what more is the testimony that he becomes the runners-up this year in the All England Championships,
yes,
right?
yes.
So even though he may be number 10, he was number 9 some time back. That's been his highest badminton global ranking. But I think having done wonders with the, he's won a couple of tournaments, but All England is the pinnacle as far as highlights of any badminton player are concerned. And if you can make it to the number 2 there, right? And at such a young age, I think if all goes well and he keeps himself injury free, I think he has a good career ahead of him. And India will be proud to have this continuation of the badminton heritage, which has been going about for the last 20 odd years.
Yes.
Whether it has been from Prakash Padukone or Gopi Chand or the others that we've had.
Yes.
So you got so many. And then the women coming up, whether it was Saina Nehwal, Sindhu you mentioned.
Yes.
There are so many others who are sitting on the flanks now waiting to take over. So I think it's been a wonderful thing for India. Badminton has really come of age. And you see more and more youngsters following them as they are idolizing these superstars, if I call all of them. And I think it's a fantastic effort done by Pulela Gopichand in his academy. So many of them been produced. And that is how you're seeing even Lakshya Sen, all the way from Uttarakhand, coming down to Hyderabad for the academy there.
Yes, of course, it's a very...
Sounds good.
Yes, it does sound good. It sounds very good also to know कि badminton has definitely come of age in a very beautiful way. लेकिन आज दो और बहुत major sporting events line up होने वाले हैं Indian angle से. मैं बात कर रही हूँ हॉकी और उसके साथ साथ क्रिकेट की. अगर हम हॉकी की बात करें तो हॉकी में जो आज हमारा मुकाबला है, India is going to be up against Ghana today, and that is going to be the big game that we'll be looking forward to. Women's group stage event होगा. और क्रिकेट की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो ग्रुप A मैच है India up against Australia. I'll come to them both one by one. Let's first talk about अनुपम जी हॉकी के लिए. भारतीय खिलाड़ी हम देखेंगे कि Indian women are up going to be up against Ghana today. It's going to be an easy match for India, you think?
One-sided. Absolutely.
I like the side
and
of
I
that
repeat.
Yeah.
Well, the point is Ghana is making their debut into hockey, right? And not very much is known about them. They are being coached both. They are playing in the men also, where India will play with them in the first game on the 31st. But for the women, now Ghana, they've got a coach, Ghazanfar Ali from Pakistan. Now, Ghazanfar is a player who played in the Olympic Games, and I've known him for a long time. So he's coaching both the men and women, right? Now, why that is, maybe the financials, etc. involved.
Maybe, yes, that's
possibly.
Yes, how?
So anyway, I don't, and he's just joined them a couple of months ago. So I'm not expecting any kind of wonders there. And the record for Ghana has not been very impressive in the All African Games, which is their continental games, etc. So I don't think so. I think India are too strong in this first game. But the question is that India's got England also in this pool. That is going to be a match to be played later on. And they've got Wales there. Of course, Ghana you mentioned. So it's a 5, there are 10 teams taking part, 2 pools of 5
Group
each.
stage के
So
अंदर
yeah, तो 4 मैच होंगे.
Correct.
तो उसमें मेन तो इंडिया और इंग्लैंड का होगा और वेल्स to a lesser extent.
Yes.
Right? So I would imagine more or less India should be looking at the last 4th stage for women.
Okay, so hopefully India goes off to a good start and is able to maintain that start. जैसे हमारे एक्सपर्ट अनुपम जी ने यहाँ पे कहा कि उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि भारतीय खिलाड़ियों से हॉकी में कि वो लास्ट 4 स्टेज तक पहुंच जाए. We'll have to see how that finishes up for
and
the
also,
Indians. But
also I'd like to butt in, sorry,
Yes.
that India, the women, are the only team in hockey to have won a gold medal.
Yes.
Indian men have not won it.
Yes.
वो 2 बार Indian men का silver था. In Delhi and Glasgow.
Correct.
But women in 2002, they won the gold medal after extra time. Who did they beat? England.
Yes.
Right?
And hopefully that gets repeated. I hope history gets repeated.
So maybe that was the last time in England that you had the Commonwealth Games. I say England, not Scotland or other places.
That
so
was.
maybe it is a lucky charm for them. Who knows?
Maybe.
After 16 years?
Yeah.
Or
Maybe.
20 years, sorry, 20 years.
Yes, but maybe lucky charm since we're talking about 2002 and now it's 2022. 20 साल हो गए, लेकिन अगला स्पोर्टिंग इवेंट जिसकी ओर अब हम लोग करेंगे वो है लॉन बॉल. लेट्स हैव अ लुक कि लॉन बॉल के अंदर कौन से इवेंट्स लाइन अप हो रहे हैं आज भारतीय खिलाड़ियों के लिए. लॉन बॉल में हम देख सकेंगे आज वुमेन सिंगल्स में नयन मोनी हु इज गोइंग टू बी रिप्रेजेंटिंग इंडिया. वहीं मेन ट्रिपल्स में दिनेश, नवनीत और चंदन रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे. मेन पेयर राउंड में सुनील और मृदुल रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे और वुमेन्स फॉर राउंड 1 में रूपा, तानिया और लवली will be representing India at, or should I say, in the event of lawn ball today. अनुपम जी, मैं आपसे ये पूछूंगी, जब हम लॉन बॉल की बात करते हैं तो इंडियन एंगल से अगर बात करें तो कितनी उम्मीदें हम अपने खिलाड़ियों से रख सकते हैं इस टूर्नामेंट के अंदर, खासतौर से लॉन बॉल के स्पोर्टिंग इवेंट में?
जरूर रख सकते हैं फॉर द सिंपल रीजन कि इंडिया हैज कम वेरी क्लोज टू अ ब्रॉन्ज मेडल ऑन 2 occasions, राइट? और अब अगर बात करें, आपने सबके नाम लिए जी. Now there are 2 members of the Indian team who are there. Right. One in the men, one in the women. I'm talking of Dinesh for the men, right? He is already a bronze medal winner. Correct. In the Pan Pacific Championships जो होती हैं, वो गोल्ड कोस्ट में हुई थी 2019 में. Okay. He's got a bronze medal. Okay. And also we look at Tania. Tania Chaudhary, she's Tania from Chaudhary, Guwahati. Right. She's actually an engineer and an MBA as well. Yes. So she has also won a bronze medal. Yeah. So anything can happen. But she's up against the Scottish player, Dee Hogan today. Women's singles में जो हम देखेंगे. Yes. She's against Dee Hogan. Correct. Not very. I don't think Dee Hogan will probably be. It should be a good contest, but she's got a good experience. She's the most experienced, and now we're talking of the singles that she's in the start. So she's basically in the triples and the fours, right? When you say triples and fours, 3 in one team, 4 in one team. Okay. So that is how it's singles, then the pairs. So you got 8 of them taking part in that. But I think the Indians in lawn bowls, don't discount them. They could be in with some podium finish.
Well, we'll wait and watch and see. We won't be discounting any player because it takes a lot to reach at the level the players have reached and to represent the nation on an international platform also. So full credit and respect for that. Like, moving on to the next game, it would of course be squash. Big names getting lined up in this sporting event. भारतीय एंगल से आज की अगर हम बात करते हैं इवेंट्स की, तो मेन सिंगल्स में सौरभ घोषाल रहेंगे, रमित और अभय रहेंगे. वुमेन सिंगल्स में जोशना चिन्नप्पा, सुनाया और अनाहत रिप्रेजेंट करने वाले हैं इंडियंस को. बिग नेम्स, सौरभ घोषाल और उसके साथ साथ जोशना चिन्नप्पा, 2 ऐसे नाम जिनके ऊपर आज पूरा फोकस रहेगा अनुपम जी. सौरभ घोषाल और जोशना चिन्नप्पा, अ लॉट राइडिंग आउट ऑन देम अगर हम बात करें आज के इस टूर्नामेंट में.
Yes, absolutely. Now you mentioned Saurav Ghoshal.
Yes.
This is going to be his 5th Commonwealth Games.
Correct.
He's 36 years of age. Hats off to him at this age to keep supremely fit.
Yes.
5th, right?
Yes, correct.
And squash is a very tough game. Yes. It takes out everything that you've got. The reflexes, the angles, the agility, the athleticism. Saurav Ghoshal has it all. Along with that, now you mentioned 2 other women players. Joshna Chinnappa.
Yes.
And yes, so she's a young girl. She's only 14 years old. She's coming up. There's a lot of squash ahead for her. For the young girl, she's only 14. Yes. But I'm talking of Joshna Chinnappa. And then you'll see Deepika Palekar also coming up in a day or 2. Both of them are very experienced. India has won in the Commonwealth Games. They've got, they're the women's doubles champions. They're there with the mixed as well. And recently concluded in Glasgow with the World Doubles Championships. India got 3 gold medals there. So India do hope that in squash they will come back not empty-handed.
Well, let's hope we do not come back empty-handed in any of those sports. लेकिन also time to be real because बहुत सारे ऐसे events हैं जिनमें हम medals लेकर आएंगे, but बहुत सारे ऐसे हैं जहाँ पर हम average भी pair कर सकते हैं. The next event that I'm going to move on is going to be an event, sport, which is table tennis, जिसमें इंडिया से उम्मीदें डेफिनेटली रखी जा सकती है. देखते हैं कि आज टेबल टेनिस के अंदर कौन से इवेंट्स लाइन अप हो रहे हैं भारतीय एंगल की तरफ से. हम देखेंगे वुमेन्स सिंगल्स में है मनिका बत्रा और उसके साथ साथ श्री जाकुला, रिया चिटाले और रीत टेनिसन, जो भारतीय वुमेन्स सिंगल्स की अगर हम बात करते हैं रिप्रेजेंटेशन रहेगा इन द क्वालिफाइंग राउंड 1 ऑफ टेबल टेनिस. वहीं मेन सिंगल्स की अगर बात करें तो सत्यान सत्यान गणेशकरण, वहीं हरमीत देसाई, सनील शेट्टी, अचंत शरद कमल रिप्रेजेंट करने वाले हैं इंडियंस को। अगेन अनुपम जी, क्विकली आपका ओपिनियन इस पे। टीटी में हमेशा से बहुत कुछ राइट करता है भारतीय खिलाड़ी को, पर ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड ऑल्सो हैज बीन वेरी गुड। दिस टाइम यू लुक एट वी विल बी एबल टू मेंटेन दैट ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड एंड कैरी ऑन द मोमेंटम ऑफ गिविंग अप अ गुड परफॉर्मेंस इन द कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स 2022?
Well, definitely. I would hope so. Now, I just mentioned when we were talking about squash.
Yes.
Saurav Ghoshal.
Yes.
Now, you got Sharad Kamal here.
Correct.
It's his 5th Commonwealth Games also, right? Starting from 2006.
Yes.
He's 40 years old.
Even more in age and
4
maintaining the
साल
fitness वहाँ पर।
घोषाल से भी।
जी।
So at 40, he's still full of concentration when he's looking at that ball coming in and how he's
TT is a
tackling
very
the
nimble
opponent.
game. आपको बहुत quick on your toes पे रहना पड़ता है।
Absolutely.
True.
So again, double hats off to him
Correct.
at the age of 40.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
5th.
yes.
And mind you, in 2006, he was the gold medal winner of the individual men's singles.
Yes.
So he's like a father figure of the team. And on the other hand, you mentioned Manika Batra.
Yes.
Even though her ranking is 50 in the world, but you never know. But you got some very strong competition in this. You got the English players are very good. Singapore is very good. Lots of other players will be good. But who knows? I think India just might be there with a decent chance to come with back with a medal or two.
Yes, and the last event जो आज हम कवर करने वाले हैं, इंडियन एंगल रिप्रेजेंट होगा ऑन द फर्स्ट डे व्हेन द कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स की ऑफिशियल गेम्स भी शुरू हो जाते हैं, विच विल बी ऑफ कोर्स ट्रैक साइकिलिंग। अगर हम साइकिलिंग की बात करें तो लेट्स हैव अ लुक कि कौन से इवेंट्स आ रहे हैं आज या लाइंड अप हैं ऑन द फर्स्ट डे ऑफ द एक्शन, व्हेन वी हैव मेन टीम परस्वेट में विश्वजीत, नमन, वेंकप्पा, अनंता और दिनेश, वहीं वुमेन्स टीम स्प्रिंट में मयूरी, त्रेयशा और शुशिकला, और मेन्स टीम स्प्रिंट में रोजित, रोनाल्डो, डेविड और एसाओ रिप्रेजेंट करने वाले हैं इंडिया को। बहुत क्विकली अनुपम जी, साइकिलिंग की अगर बात करते हैं, ये काफ़ी सारे इवेंट्स हैं, मेंस टीम परस्यूट, वुमेन्स टीम स्प्रिंट और मेंस टीम स्प्रिंट। इंडियन एंगल से आप क्या उम्मीदें रखेंगे हमारे साइकिलिस्ट से?
To be very honest, not very much.
Okay.
For the simple reason that cycling, as far as the global platform is concerned, India has never, even at the Asian level, they haven't been able to achieve very much. And यहाँ पे competition will be pretty stiff.
So it would be stiff of course, but overall अगर हम देखें so hopefully उम्मीदें ये रखी जाएंगी कि भारतीय खिलाड़ी इस बार when we're looking at the 22nd edition of the Commonwealth Games, we come up with a good performance by our Indian sports persons. On that note, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अनुपम जी हमारे साथ यहाँ स्टूडियो में जुड़ने के लिए। Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, a great pleasure,
Thank
Sakshi.
you. We'll have you around in the studio, but to all the viewers and fans of Doordarshan Sports, हम सबसे पहला इवेंट जो आज दिन के लेकर आ रहे हैं, यानी on day 1 of the Commonwealth Games, when the actions of all the sporting events starts off from today officially, we bring to you badminton coming up.
Commonwealth Games 2022 co-presented by Amul, the Taste of India, and Parley Hide and Seek Fills.
We've got that order of play is because Barbados has only got